Hey everybody, how's it going? Um, Wanted to make sure I have the loud PowerPoint for you for this one. So if it works, we got Brittany here. Yes, okay. So forming your group, and that's what we're going with. It lets me play it. It looks like it's playing around, but that should get moving, and we'll go from there. Let's say it wants to die. Shoot.
Forming a group is a process that takes several steps, and although some of the steps may be completed at the same time, none may be skipped if the group is going to form properly and thrive. First, every group relies on a clear and thoughtful rationale for existence. Groups that attempt to form without a strong rationale are likely to be unproductive and potentially harmful for their members. Leaders must also decide on the theoretical framework from which to work, and the theoretical format should be appropriate for the purposes of the group. The successful formation of a group also relies on practical planning, like the meeting time and place, and leaders should consider potential obstacles in planning this group. Considering how will members get to the meeting. If the group's intended for a certain population, say school-aged children or elderly people, transportation may be a specific issue to address. Publicized group is another consideration that is addressed during the forming stage, and it's important to keep in mind that how a group is announced influences both the ways that it will be received by potential members and also the kind of people who will join. Take some time to consider whether word of mouth, personal contact, and/or written announcements will best suit your intended audience, and that will contribute to the intentionality of your group formation. Screening and training are processes that involve meeting members either individually or in a group format to determine who should join a group and who should not by identifying needs, expectations, and commitment, challenging myths and conceptions, and conveying information to those potential members. This is an opportunity not only for group leaders to select members, but also for potential members to make sure that the group is something they're truly interested in. Once members have been selected, pre-training serve as almost an orientation session to help members get acclimated. The selecting of group members and group leaders can be seen as an outcome of the screening and pre-training, with leaders selecting group members and group members selecting to be part of the group with those leaders. Once we have a group, there are a number of tasks that must be accomplished during the first session, including dealing with apprehension, reviewing goals and contracts, specifying rules, setting limits, promoting positive interchange among members, and resolving potential group problems. A certain level of anxiety is considered a natural part of beginning groups, and group leaders can address anxiety directly in the group or work to clarify any issues that seem to arise as a result of member anxiety. Reviewing goals and contracts within the group is an opportunity to restate the purpose of the group during the first session and allow members to share more about their own personal goals. Although some groups may begin with an established set of group rules, the first session is a great time to review these rules and also allow members to make contributions to the rules. Stating rules in positive terms rather than negative terms will help set the tone of the group. For instance, rather than having a rule against violence, the group could state that members will respect the physical and psychological safety of others at all times. Limits help members understand boundaries in the group, and limits can be addressed during the initial session, but must also be addressed when members test them in the group setting, either by breaking rules or norms. Group leaders can promote positive interactions among group members by being enthusiastic, by drawing out members, holding focus on interesting topics, or shifting the focus when topics are irrelevant or interesting to only a few members, by cutting off any hostile or negative interactions as well. There are a number of problems that can occur during the formation of a group and afterward, some of which involve people and some of which involve process. Subgroups are one such example of a problem that can come up in group process, where cliques of members band together and may become troublesome. Leaders must remain tuned in to interaction patterns and promote interchange among members, potentially by providing more direction for interaction through exercises or through activities. Your textbook authors also address this with group member behavior, and the caution that I want to echo as you consider difficult member roles during the first session is that the tendency to label members based on their behavior can be incredibly distracting and disrupt the success of a group. Rather than labeling members based on potentially difficult behavior, it can be helpful instead to see that behavior as a symptom of an issue that's developed in the group and approach it with an open mind. For instance, silent members may be feeling hostile or attempting to, instead of seeing a silent member as difficult, it can be helpful to ask a simple open-ended question like, what do you think about what the other members have been saying? Pages 102 to 104 provide strategies for the beginning stage of a group, and I would encourage you to review these pages carefully as they're quite helpful. Over the course of the next 3 weeks, I'll ask you to view clips to illustrate the issues we're discussing. To access the videos, you may need to sign in using your UC ID and password. You should then be connected directly to the videos. If you have any trouble accessing the video once you've successfully logged in, try using the link again or searching for the video title. This one is titled Leading in the Here and Now, the Initial Stage. In our first viewing, we'll see a new group coming together and forming. In the coming weeks, I'll ask you to view 2 more videos as we watch this same group grow and develop. This first video lasts about an hour, so I encourage you to either carve out time to view this in one sitting or split the video into smaller segments and watch it over the course of a couple viewings. As you watch this week, try to look for the tasks that exist in the beginning group. As members and leaders deal with apprehension, review goals and rules, begin to set limits, promote positive interchange among members, and resolve potential group problems. Looking at the link, you may notice that this video is not captured recently. However, the group leader you're about to watch is a highly respected member of the group work profession and has developed some excellent teaching tools, including these videos. Enjoy. In summary, forming is characterized by initial caution associated with any new experience, attempting to avoid being rejected by others. During this first stage of group development, group members try to be superficial, center conversation around historical or future events that do not have a direct impact on the group. Tasks during this beginning stage include dealing with apprehension, reviewing member goals and contracts, specifying rules, setting limits, and promoting positive interchange. This serves to conclude our lecture on forming, and I will see you next week.
Oh, forming the group is always the best. Did you say your place has groups they lead to?
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly for like adult daycare kind of, or more of a.
We did have adult daycare for a little bit, then we'll stop of them. Like in person. But right now
Okay.
ours is mostly like therapy. And we have a lot of younger people that are like stroke, OD,
Really?
stuff like that.
How many stroke people are there?
Right now I think we've got like 4.
And why? The vaccine?
I want to say, I don't know if it's the vaccine, I don't know if it's extracurricular fun, I don't know. But I do know that we have a lot that are in between their 30s and 50s. Like we have like 4 right now that are really young, and so like they're trying to learn to walk and stuff again. The weakness on the one side. And, they have like a group for them where they share their feelings and stuff. I don't know if that's really the same because it's more medical,
Right.
but you know.
That is insane. Because there's a lot of research on myocarditis, and then they had mentioned like stuff about myocarditis, and we're like, and that's the inflammation of the heart, and then also the strokes from connections to the brain. Because they spoke to us about the vaccine on Thursday, like the associate provost. Oh, if interested, we do have donuts or muffins if you guys would want either one. I put them in front of the chair of the department's office. two or three donuts and then 2 muffins if you want to go see. I just, when you open that, I realized I have to go that way to get a water too.
So you brought-
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, on the ground. I was like,
It was on the ground.
Yeah, and it's like, the box still there.
Oh, is it out in the, where did
Like
I?
outside the door.
That's right. Okay. Well, do you want to see the options for donuts or muffins?
I'm not being you.
Do you want to go get one?
I just ate. I'm full.
Because, yeah, that's what I was supposed
That's
to.
where I came from. That's why I was a couple minutes late. I walked.
I'm dehydrated. So I'll get that, and then you can see the donut option and muffin option. Pretty good.
Oh, bring them.
Bring them in here. I left them in front of the chairs department because you didn't see them.
Like in the office with the long desk.
Perdomo.
Oh, I'm looking at
Perdomo's. It's downstairs. You want me to bring them up here instead?
it. Yeah, I'm not going downstairs.
I'm just not here. Okay, so where in the world, I have to do my assignment still. And so I tried to get them last night, watch the ad meeting. But where the fuck do I click on it?
So you go like,
Because when I got there to the ad.org, I went to the top and it was like meetings, and I put my city in, but we
I think when you go, I don't know how I did, but like, you go down and do like online interviews.
oh,
And
okay.
it should be like that, but
Girl, because I'm gonna leave here and go do it, like, because it probably shouldn't take long.
no, you just really sit through the whole meeting and be like, dang, I'm so happy that I'm not really like y'all.
Yeah.
Because, oh my gosh, I can remember he had no, like, his teeth for the whole time.
Oh, that's terrible.
And then you see some, like, you be like, you were an alcoholic? You must have been a functioning. Because
Yeah.
what is this? And then you're like, oh my gosh. I be sitting there like, oh, y'all were, okay. This is nasty. I don't know why you brought this.
Mhm.
Wow, good for you. I guess it tastes better since it's tangerine.
You said since
Because of the tangerine flavor. I was trying to keep my books.
We always hospice today, so.
We didn't know if you were getting stuff in like 30, like 30.
Oh, I always buy the day olds, that's why.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just, be careful. They're just as good.
They're just like good, but you don't got the best flavor.
Oh, well, they always do that too.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that was a rough one. I didn't think it would be clipped off my whole knee. I guess I'll survive. Oh, shoot. Do you guys have any plans for the weekend?
I'm just gonna make sure I say it for all my work first. That's all. Cause I work too, so like, I have classes whenever, and I work 12 hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Do you really?
Cause I still gotta pay bills.
So do you get time by Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 12 hours?
It would be full time, but I try not to work Saturday and Sunday right now because,
But they still give you benefits if you do 24?
no, I don't give it.
That sucks.
But, pay my, as long as I pay my rent and stuff.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna make
Is it like nursing pay or is it more? Do they at
It's
least
like,
pay well?
it's less pay, but it's
Like 15 to 19?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I'm not
Well,
gonna
it's-
hire you, so I can do it for like 16.
Right, yes,
So I was like, it's okay, it works. It's just,
that's crazy.
I'm so used to being full time and learning to relive and adjust your money is the hardest part, I think.
Right, no, it's very hard. In fact,
Cause I'm like, my kids are so used to like, oh, let's go do this.
you're like, I can't do
We
anything.
ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
Graduate. Watch movie at home on Pop.
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's an adjustment for everybody.
Well, I was going to show you guys how it also never ends when you become a professor. So she sent me this. I'm trying to get Child and Family Services as an OER class, which means no book. So in order to be an OER, look at this. And I just got this back. Basically, I want to laugh if there's red ink on every single column because I thought it was done because we've taught it before without a book, but obviously it's more than just without a book. So they want me to, are either one of you taking Child and Family Services?
I want to take it next semester. I want to take Child Family Women.
Right, because then if you did your internship also,
Yeah, I get it.
and your $5,000 sign-on bonus to work there for 12 months, and are you within 2 years of graduation?
Yeah.
Did you see that big scholarship we got? Oh, I need to show you that then too. Have you heard about it?
I need them.
Yeah.
Well, everybody does.
Yeah, who doesn't?
So
What's that?
this is the biggest news of the week. Since it's a holiday weekend, I'm going to go with that. I already covered forming. Next week we'll do storming, norming, and performing. Here is the Great Minds Fellowship Program. So if you are within 2 years of graduation, this is freaking amazing news. I would also say they put Edison Perdomo in charge of it. He's the chair of the department, but he's psychology,
Okay.
which is kind of annoying because it's only given out to social work students.
Why would
It's
they do
only
that?
he needs it to become full professor. So we always need like different
Oh.
grants run. Well, this is another example. I have to do this. See how much
I was just wondering if that was weird.
see how much red ink I got? You ever get a paper like this? So I'm missing a welcome message. Instructor information is blank. This is like most of my classes on
Yeah.
D2L because I'm not good online. Anyway, she says, I encourage you to complete the overview page. I bet you I got a comment in every single thing. Wow. Your course had old master template. I placed the new template in your course. I created a folder in your course titled old template. I placed the information from the old template in the old template folder. Please review the content, save what you want, and move out of hidden old template folder. Isn't it hilarious? Like, this is perfect too, because I've never been certified to teach online. With COVID, we have to
Yeah.
teach online. So if it happens again, they want it. So this is another part of it. So I think it's 10 pages. Okay. You have several syllabus in your course. You did not have the current syllabus. I added the approved syllabus to your course. Please upload the syllabus with your content. Like, this is the stuff that like makes me sick to my stomach. When you have a
Yeah.
big final paper, this is what it feels like. Remove old syllabi, blah, blah, blah.
Trust me, I know, because them big final papers, I'm always stressed. I think I stress eat too. And I was like, why am I getting like 5 pounds every time it's like final?
Right. Yes. It's
Oh,
cortisol.
I'm going to try not to do that.
It's cortisol and stress eating.
I always blame them.
Please complete the Senate approved syllabus. You're encouraged to use Bloom's taxonomy of verbs. Oh my God. This is how you get certified to teach online. It's great. Look at this. I think no objective found. You're encouraged to use Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. So the chair may help with this, which is good. Please make sure you use specific, observable, measurable action verbs. In most cases, because I'm just like,
I feel like I'm in middle school learning about cat like every
Right.
day, and I'm like, what is she talking about?
She put a lot of her in.
she did.
That's a lot.
That makes her head hurt. I think I'm an adult with ADHD, so certain stuff like that just triggers me.
Oh, I just like I seriously feel like I could just go throw up somewhere. I don't want to like.
And then like she goes,
Look at all that.
she more every time you go there.
I wonder how much she gets paid to sit and do this.
And it's remote from Florida, which is funny too. So I'm thinking it is a lot because they respond. She responds immediately. She like puts out all the fires. So all of our online courses go through her.
Yeah, they got hit with
Do the,
Storm Island.
oh yeah.
How do you say?
How she still working?
So
Girl, she might move. She's online anywhere.
Uh-huh.
She's probably at a hotel.
she just drove up to Alabama and
Yeah.
posted up in a
I still
hotel
would've
room.
been like, oh, you could storm. I'm not gonna be able to.
But she's not like that. And then, so furthermore, and I'll read you the good news here in a second. I'm keeping it, save the best for last. Here's what, how do I have that many tabs open?
Why do you have a laptop on your
Oh, I was showing people how cheap these things were.
Yeah, they're cheap now.
I
And
know.
TVs are too.
I know.
If we're getting some like TV.
So
I don't know why
here-
they're so cheap, but they're cheap now.
here is what we had.
Inflation.
That's true because I can't afford to. I'm struggling. Like I can't afford to.
There she is.
Getting groceries.
She's my teacher.
Is she really?
Yes,
For what?
she is my teacher for social problems.
And what
Sociology?
Yeah, social problems. Yeah, social problems.
so she has a PhD, a EDS, a MSSED, a MBA,
Oh,
an MA.
She's definitely particular. You should see our discussion posts have to be 300 to 400 words, and we have to at least have a 100-word response.
Why do people?
I'm not there are many essays.
She has a
every
Twitter.
week.
She has a Twitter, so you guys can like look her up on Facebook and Twitter.
I don't even want to. I just want to pass her class.
You could do a little black mouse that I saw this tweet.
That's what I'm doing this week in her work. To have a case study.
So she makes you do all that stuff for your class too.
We're in week 3, and I believe we have a 300 to 400 words discussion post.
And it's
And
under SOC 3310 or something,
Yeah,
or what's
something
the?
like that.
It's called.
It's like right
So
now.
she's a sociologist.
She might be.
I seen her and I almost dropped out of classes for busting her. And I know that's terrible to say.
Well,
But you can tell what
Look.
kind of teachers are gonna
You
have.
have to get Miss. What's her name?
Yeah, she's gonna tell you.
Miss
Can tell.
Ewing. I love her. Cause her class was so easy. She was fun.
Like make me wonder.
so Brittany and Sydney get to take her too, I guess, for social problems. Is that a required one for sociology? You gotta take one
I
soc,
think so.
like
But
intro to
mine-
soc and then one other soc, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, I just took sociology, but I took a sociology class as an elective. Like I took agricultural.
That's where when you think online will be easier, it's not.
It's so not.
It's not.
I'd rather be a friend. And I
It's
think
so
even one of
not.
my class, I guess that's just the only thing that they have.
Because Miss Ewing, she.
Oh, Brittany already took her. She said.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, part of me I'm okay still teaching in person, with the pandemic. Obviously, I try to shoot it out remote for you guys. At some point, we'll do that, but we have 15 other things we want to do before we do the other 10 other things. So it's just, yeah, we are.
The scholarship.
Yeah, you were trying
So
to.
are you within 2 years of graduation?
I am. I'm a junior.
You're a junior?
That 2 years or what?
No,
That's 2 years.
Yeah, it's within 2 years because we still got to finish this junior year and then our senior.
Brittany says online was way harder with online classes.
I believe it. I
It
hate
is.
I don't.
Well, you think like, cool, I don't even have to like go into campus and
Yeah,
I'll
but it's
just,
awful.
but you write 10 times as much and
Yeah.
you like read, I don't know. It's just something
I'd rather
about.
do it in person.
So here's what happened. We got $300,000
Okay.
and anybody within 2 years of graduation, I want to know where all of this went because where did the other 44,700,000 go? We only got 300,000, but anyway, that's besides the point. Through fall semester of 2024, I guess we can try to spread you guys out if you're within 2 and say they do want you to probably have above a 3.0 or 2.5. I don't know. So that's why I was saying if you send Edison your resume, you don't have a resume? I can show you how to make one. We can do that in this class.
I'm supposed to go to Miss.
But hers is social 1125. It's 1125. Go to the.
What is that?
Social 1125? And you're like, oh, cool, it's online. I don't have to come in campus. You're
No,
like,
I actually requested all in-person classes, and for some reason, every semester they give me at least one online.
and that's the one online you got stuck with?
Yes.
Oh,
And then
Who's the advisor now? Was it,
I think Nikita made mine.
do you meet with her in person? She might like Dr. Bella because Nikita actually is as detailed as Dr. Bella. I'm just not as detailed as some folks.
I'm more like you. I'm like a median.
And I'm not saying it's good
I'm
or
a
bad.
But no, I'm a good median. I recognize that.
Right.
Yeah, but no one wants to write a 400-word count discussion and then respond with 200-word count.
Where do you have to do that?
No, it's her
I
class.
gotta do that.
That's what I have to do.
That she gotta do.
Our
I have to
discussion
do
posts
that.
are
I'm
300 to 400 words. And then each
It's a whole
response is
page.
at least 100.
Okay.
And then it's like, it's not that bad, but it's like, now I'm making up stuff.
Right.
sounds
I'll
good,
have
but-
to.
I discussed everything we discussed in my post, so now when I respond to somebody
I
else,
just repeat the same thing.
we're agreeing with each other, like, you know, like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You usually just send like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh
Right.
yeah, I like what you have to say.
Yeah, so
Thanks
it's
for
kind of
yeah.
hard to make that.
I'm on word 200 already.
So I feel like now that you say it out loud, sometimes the details are, so if it's about sociology, so like in social problems, like sometimes I'll bring it back to current events. Like I'll be like, agree with them and then give an example. Like what I see that the money printing has done is double the prices and everything. It's been hard to like make it and afford life and pay for rent, but you know, like ad lib
Right.
that way. And usually it's something that everybody can vibe with and that way.
Right, and then it works.
Can you do voice to text on them and then you edit it? That's how I would have to do it.
Yeah, I need to try it.
Uh-huh.
because That will probably work out so
Mhm.
much better for me. I think I
So I'll
can-
email it from my phone. You just email it
Yeah.
and then copy and paste it into the paper or the discussion. That way,
makes more sense.
That's-
so smart.
that's the only way I wrote my dissertation. I had to
This-
do it
I'm like,
all
this is
voice.
crazy.
I can't type that well. I'm like,
Yeah.
so
I just more so get lost after a while, like, or I ain't gonna lie, I lose interest if it's not interesting. Like,
Right.
After I've learned it, it's like, okay, what are we going from here?
so here's your good news.
Okay.
You see that? Do you have to write a paper? I doubt it. I really do.
Whoa,
So
no, are you serious?
yeah.
I can't-
Isn't that crazy?
What is that?
That we got to give the money out within 12 months.
Oh my gosh, what do I gotta do? Cause I gotta.
I would-
7 right now.
I would send Perdomo like, hey, I heard you're in charge of this. Just so you know, here's like my GPA. Here is my resume. And I think the other key is you have to work in, it's a community behavioral health center, CB. So you got to give them, you don't want to work there, you said?
I said, I don't work there.
No, you have to.
No,
It's
you
probably
have
the
to
same.
go and, like, give some hours probably.
Like when you graduate, you would still be paid, but they want to make sure that they have enough workers to cover the need of social workers in community behavioral health centers. And they usually make you do 1 year. It's the same as the child protective services one. So I wonder if you can double dip on those.
Yes,
And
I
like,
think-
I don't know.
Or,
So
like work for like Osterland and Springfield.
yeah.
That's like a behavioral health for juvenile.
So look at this, eligible programs. What in our school do we have? Because marriage and family therapy is graduate school. Mental health counseling is graduate school. Psychiatric mental health nursing is graduate school. Substance abuse addiction counseling could be undergrad, but we don't have it. So I think in our school, the only ones who qualify. So it sounds like either 60 will get 5,000 or 30 will get 10,000. I don't know how the equitably
It
like
probably depends on how much you apply.
true. And I know that people are hearing about it and getting real excited fast. So it's
Yeah.
I don't even know how many social workers we have.
But I'm
but
like,
it's-
how many social workers do we have within 2 years of graduating?
my guess is very likely we have 100 total. If you cut it right in half, it would be 50, but I have a feeling, say maybe 30 meet the GPA stuff. And
Okay.
then it would be 30 get 10,000. That would be exciting.
So
So I would email Perdomo. He's in charge, right?
I would love that.
Right.
That's because I'm not on the
It'll motivate you to get your resume together.
It'll also motivate you to keep your GPA.
It's true, yeah.
It definitely will. I need small
And-
things like that, like small things.
Well, that's a lot. Like that's so. Here's what a resume. I know this is curriculum vitae. If I've shown you guys this before, I probably have. This is mine. You've already seen it. So my resume is page 2. You generally only want it a page and a half.
Right.
So those are all the places I've taught. When I was in social work, this is my resume. I just did something like that.
I love how you did just the years, because I think mine actually have like month statement.
I do that because it allows me to cover every single year.
Yes.
Like when you quit in the middle of the year, and
Yeah.
you like take 3 months to find a job. Nobody has questioned me on it yet, but some of them are hard asses. Like, what month did you quit? How did you leave the place? Did you leave on
Yeah.
good terms? So that's why they do that. But
Because
I-
like, mine has like, I think close, but it has a month in the year.
Mhm.
That's what I do. But I'm like, Sometimes I'm like, I don't forget.
Right.
Yes.
So as long as you can see, I try to cover.
But I've been at my same job for 8 years. And then before
That's
that,
good.
And
That's
before that, I
good.
was with the same one for 5, and before that, I was with the same one for 6. So
Because
I
these were
never-
tricky. These are the ones where like it was just 2 semesters, but I put
Yeah.
1 to 02. I think that was also fall and spring semester, so I put 02 to 03. That I think was also fall and spring semester, so I put 03 to 04. That might have only been 1 semester, and I was in law school and I dropped out. So that's why there is a big gap here. You've got 04 and then supposedly 05, and I did 2 years of law school in
But the
Hammond.
way you did it was perfect because it doesn't seem like there's a gap. It seems like you were just there for the whole year.
That's the idea, right? So you
Yeah.
make yourself look the best you can, and then you guys don't need this. You just need a page and a half of like what you did, how you did it, name. If you really want to like contact, some people are saying take this off because like
There's
apparently
your address.
right, because Miami University posted that online and I get lots of spam calls now.
Yes.
So stuff like that. If you want to avoid the spam calls. But or you can do a Google number and just like set up your Google number. And that's your
Oh, yeah,
phone
that's
number.
cool.
And that's free. And it'll come to your actual phone
That's
through
cool.
Gmail. So I have like
didn't know that.
I have a Google number and like I'll give that to clients or
Yeah, that makes sense.
that way you don't get blown up on your actual phone. The hard part is it actually is hard to tell if it is the Google number when it's calling, but when you pick it up, it'll say call from, and then they have to say their name like they're calling from jail, which is kind of funny, but it'll say call from, and it's like a collect call, like John Trouth. And then you either hit 1, or if you have no idea who it is, you can just like block it.
Right. That's cool.
So I just give out that Google number, and it may piss people off, and also it just is what it is. But we got a lot of things going on, but this is good. This is all good stuff. So CBH, what that means, you have to work there for a year. It offers non-institutional behavioral health services in communities across the state. So it could kind of place you in Ohio, which might sound scary. I know, but would you do it for 10 grand
I would.
for 1
For
year?
1 year?
You live here.
I
You
don't
can do it
like
on the border. How far are
Yeah,
you from the
You don't
border?
think I don't leave?
I'm in Speedway.
How far are you from the border?
I'm in Speedway.
It's called Speedway, Indiana. Is
Is
that
it
where
really?
Speedway was found?
It's where the Indy 500 is at. So they call it
That makes sense. Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
It's-
Like where
you
they
get all
race?
them rednecks every year. They like camp
Oh my
out and
God.
show
I
up.
had called, I had told my manager, yeah, I live in Speedway. I'm not coming.
Do they harass you and like?
No, they don't harass us.
So they're not
just
mean.
like- no, because they're drunk.
Well, that's usually when they do harass you.
No, they can't.
I think
Well,
maybe they're more friendlier.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
Well,
hey, how you doing?
well, because now they mind your business more.
Do they really?
Yeah,
That's
like,
impressive that they mind their own business.
Yeah, but my mom, she gets kind of irritated because like
I
when
would.
the people want to like park where her house is, and her her house.
So you're that close to the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, like you can walk there.
You hear that crap.
Yeah, they have like the big race, and then they have like the practice.
How loud is it?
Oh, it would be it's not all that
Do
loud.
you smell it too?
I don't really know.
Like burnt rubber and like you're probably used to it by
I
now.
probably
Liz.
am used to it, but I don't really. I like,
You
all
see
I hear is
smoke?
sound, probably, because there were times where like we had like a.
I didn't realize that
it
you were
smelled
that
like
close.
fireworks,
Okay.
and it wasn't even 4th of July yet.
So also for Brittany and
What is
Sydney, I don't know how close you guys are to graduation, but I think they want it for mostly juniors and seniors. And you have to work at a community behavioral health center. And I guess this is to make sure you get the scholarship. So provider types 84 and 95 are eligible. They partner with eligible Ohio College, that's us, and then CBHs must be able to provide required supervision. So they need to have a social worker there for you.
Okay.
Essentially, which is fine. Most of them do based on your discipline. And so, okay, she said she'll do that next semester. So Great Mind Fellowship interns, Here's the website too. So if that's helpful for you guys, just to get something. I guess if you just Google Great Minds Fellowship dashboard, it's in Ohio. I know that's annoying to you, but it's 10 grand. So use of funds, they will be blah, 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 blah. Here's what it looks like. And then I feel like there was one other, okay, so 10 grand, that's a lot. That's good. That's like what tuition is in state a whole year, or is it a whole semester now costs 10 grand?
I think it's a semester.
Okay. Is a semester 10 grand
I think.
for
Well,
12 or
close to
18
it.
credit hours?
Yeah.
So it's like 1,000 a credit hour
It's
almost.
crazy. I think, yeah, something like that. It's a little up there. It's
Ooh,
steep.
credit
It might be
hours.
a little less than 10 grand, probably
Okay.
like 8 something.
Do you get a Pell Grant though?
Mhm.
So that covers like 1,
If
2,
you
or 3
qualify.
grand? Yeah, so my wife's been getting it, but I'm wondering when that's going to run out. She's out of student loans right now. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Well, they'll give you like other months, because I know like one of my friends, she don't qualify for the Pell Grant because her parents make,
Right, right.
a lot. I'm
We
like,
qualify because I'm a social worker, so it's like,
but
yeah, we qualify.
both her parents make, it's like both her parents have $120,000 a year
What do they do?
together. Her dad is a social worker, and her
What?
mom,
Is he at like the VA or something?
her dad is a social worker.
So he makes 100 grand. Together they make 100 grand.
Together.
So they both make 50 grand.
Yeah,
That makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
Okay, I thought you were saying they make 200 grand.
No,
Okay.
but her mom makes,
I was like, good goodness.
but her mom makes that monthly income. Her
Okay.
dad-
Because even here teaching, they start us at 48 is assistant professor, 58 is associate professor, and then 69 for full professor. And I think you get a $5,000 bonus if you get promoted to associate professor or full professor. So that's kind of how it works. And then you could teach summer classes, and then you can also, well, you do grants or you get certified to teach online. Part of me
Yeah.
doesn't want to get certified to teach online.
But you would be a great online teacher though, because all the times that when I wasn't in
They're
class, when I was
boring.
when I'm watching online, I actually understand what you're talking about.
Oh, that's
Like, you know-
interesting.
You know
Okay.
how you get like some online professors who they lose you.
Right.
Or
That's
you're-
true.
When you're completely on your own.
I do
Like,
try to
you-
keep it real.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I do
I
my
do like
best to explain, but I've only taught in person for 14 years, so I don't know any other way. I have taught online, but like I've never been like
And I like
specialty.
YouTube, like we can actually interact during class. Like, I
That
like
is
it.
true. Like the fact that they write. I know that she does like Zoom. The reason it works for me to do this because it's not an extra step for me to like say, here's the link.
Yeah.
You guys can go and look
Just
at
get
all the
on right there and
videos.
then put our names, you can keep it there. I think it's so much easier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
You
Yeah.
know that? You can watch all the videos that he posted before if you missed
For like the
it.
past 4 years now.
Yeah, you can go.
I'm sure
back.
it.
I love it.
I thought all the time you make the videos you show and then on YouTube.
Well,
No,
sometimes, yeah, you can
just
watch
see it,
those.
Like it's a class. Like you see his class. Like,
Right.
Like we see it right now.
You
see it
basically
on-
see this and then my dumb head blocking half of the
And then
screen.
you'll hear us talking. They just can't see us talking.
Right. That's the idea, to keep it confidential. So it's not like, so I know that we weren't as productive. I covered week 5 PowerPoint where me and Jen made the PowerPoints for groups at UC. And then this is the best news of the week. I didn't realize you guys haven't heard about this yet.
No, they don't tell us.
Well, aren't you glad? Here's another website. Let's see if I can get you a bunch of different websites. highered.gov, Great Minds
So-
Fellowship.
So
So email Perdomo.
So basically we email him with like all our stuff.
That's what I would do. I would act like you're applying for $10,000.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a, and that way we have your info. We know you have a good GPA, and like we'll be like, boom, they're ready. We got your name, we got your email, we got all your
Right.
contact. He's in charge. You could carbon copy me if you want, so I can be like, hey, I know that these folks already emailed me and you. Even though you're in charge, even though only social workers get it, but he's going up for full professor. So right now you submit your dossier today, and you need to have so many publications, so many grants. And if he has enough, he gets up to full professor, which is the last. You go tenure, promotion, assistant professor, associate professor, full professor. So he needs this grant on his
Yeah.
resume right now.
That makes sense.
Huh? Yeah. So that's why I was showing you this. Even if you did all your volunteer stuff, any jobs, and name. Well, I know that your picture's on our billboard over there, and that counts as that's volunteering. You ain't getting paid for that.
I am doing it, babe.
How much?
Through my wife.
You mean social work?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're the sergeant at arms for the Social Work Society. She's sergeant at arms.
I don't know why you're making
She's like she kicks us out if we get unruly.
I probably will be one to kick out.
Yeah.
I would want to, but like,
Sergeant at arms. Like maybe you could carry a fake rifle around campus.
Maybe not.
I know. Nowadays you can't do crap.
Yeah,
Maybe it would be better to have like a spear or
I'm like,
like
we're both please don't do that.
right.
We're gonna make the news.
It just sounds like that when they say sergeant at arms.
Right, it does.
and you just really play, you kind of just like, it's like, oh, yeah, you make everybody like acting right. I'm like, so.
Make 'em feel
like,
comfortable.
babysitter,
You
that's-
welcome. No, she did say you just welcome them to the events.
Yeah,
Maybe get an anchor tattoo and be like
I'm weak.
Sergeant
That's what,
Arms.
Like, that's what, like what white men do when they're in.
Right. But that's what it sounds like, sergeant at arms.
That's not Sergeant at Arms. That's the Little Mermaid.
So I think that is all of your stuff, right? Does that give you guys any info that is helpful to you?
That's all.
I'm surprised you didn't know about it.
How would I know?
I feel like somebody else,
Like Nikita would tell me?
right? Like people talk more than I do. I'm a big talker, so I talk about everything, and that's how you get to find
I think forget that I'm trying to spill the beans.
me.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Like more than what most people would say. Cause like if I had gone to the like scholarship coordinator, he probably would have told me.
He wouldn't know about this either.
He probably wouldn't. Cause the one he said like, oh, I'm qualified for it is the alumni scholarship. I don't even know how much they give you.
Did you apply for it?
Well, I'm trying to.
Okay.
But
Well, apply.
but I'm
Give her the info too, or is it competitive? You guys all got to compete against each other.
That's the thing. I really do not know.
Right. Okay.
Because he didn't really give me any information. Well, I didn't ask him, but he didn't
Right.
give me, like when I have to turn it in or nothing. He just
Right.
said, like hurry up and do it. And I've been doing it. I'm just waiting on somebody to.
Right. So as you see, I think the most important thing on here is that like there's dates and like it has to be timely. You know what I mean? Like all of this has to be distributed. Here it is right here.
It has to be done by March 30th, the next 2 years.
Yeah, but that only gives you like 1 year to have the money then. Maybe 3 semesters. So maybe it could be 3,333, 3,333, and 3,333. Well, how much is it? But don't you get other
That's all the stuff I'm able to get. It comes up to like $5,000.
so you get out of state tuition. That's probably why too. So it's like 20 grand for you.
No. Well, no, because when I look it up, it's like 13K.
For the whole year or every semester?
Like, well, for me,
Yeah, 13, and then you get it knocked down by like scholarships, grants, and you pay 5. So if you got an additional 3,333, you only owe 1,666. Okay. Well, they say those scholarships take time. It'll be like making $50 an hour as you apply to a bunch and you might only get one.
Yeah.
So this was my good news. What's that?
We even contact you back. It's like, oh,
Oh, nobody calls you guys back.
no, they don't even tell you that you don't get it. They just like,
Well, that's annoying. And why they say to apply to like dozens if you can.
Right.
Do you actually like this stuff? That's why it's funny. Most people drink it like, oh, there ain't any sugar in it.
I don't like it, but it's not.
But it hydrates you.
I don't drink anything with really sugar anyway.
Right.
Like,
There's
Right.
sugar in it.
I drink, like, I'm drinking this.
There's
right now.
nothing.
There's no sugar in it.
Yep.
It's
There's
really
nothing.
just water and
Yeah.
like flavored candle.
Yeah, I'm drinking nothing either.
But then the dude I bought it from today that said the natural essences is how they flavor it with some weird. Have you ever heard this?
I'm gonna try one.
Natural essences.
Where are they out there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try one. Cause I drink this sparkling water, I ain't got no sugar in it either.
If I get sparkling water like that, I'm gonna sugar in it.
Yeah, I don't drink anything with sugar. I've been trying not to.
Have you heard this? FDA regards castrolium as natural flavoring. Just in time for holiday cookie season, we discovered that vanilla flavoring in your baked goods and candy could come from the anal excretions of beavers. Beaver butts. I'm serious. I hope it's a joke. But somebody told me this today, and sure enough.
Secretes a glue cough. That is
No, it
disgusting.
don't. No, it don't. Cause vanilla extract is actually vanilla and vodka.
I hope so. That's your final nasty information for the.
Somebody really.
No.
That's what they told me. I was drinking it, and I
It's the
said,
fact that they have
I'm a vegetarian. I don't want beaver